Hello, Saline. This is Talk of the Towns, Saline High School's official podcast. I'm Sara Gava, and today we are talking to Julianna Combs about her journey in music. Now let's talk local. We are here with the Saline Drum Major, Julianna Combs. So, Julianna, thank you for coming. We really appreciate having you here.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
So today I wanted to talk to you about your journey in music because I know you obviously do a lot of things with music. So my first question for you is just how did you first get into music? Like, when did you start doing it?
So that's actually a really interesting question because I remember, every time in kindergarten, whenever my dad picked me up, I would always sing, whatever popped up on the radio as if I wrote the song. It was, a full-on karaoke.
Yeah.
And that kind of, progressed into middle school. Like, I would say, oh, my gosh, I haven't heard this song in forever. And, with Frozen, with Let It Go, that was an interesting time in my life.
Yeah, I think
they would keep teasing me about that one lyric that I would always sing nonstop. But I don't think I actually recognized that I had a passion for music until COVID, when I would just start kind of remixing songs because my dad had a little DJ set. My dad gave me this tool that on my laptop to create my own songs with, and I actually kind of just started playing around with it, and then I was just oh my gosh, I actually really like this. So music has just grown with me since my freshman year of high school, really.
So if you had to think back on all the moments in your life, what do you think was a specific moment that you really realized it was your passion, that was what you wanted to do?
I think the moment that I realized that I actually wanted to pursue music as a career would be sophomore year of high school, because that was the time where we were back in school, personally. So I got to actually interact with music more than just virtually. My dad, I love him so much. He's my biggest inspiration, really. He keeps coming to me with oh, you should listen to this artist because they do some pretty cool stuff with the guitar or the drums. And he said that if he wasn't a doctor, he would go back to college and pursue a career in music. So I like to think of my love for music as a tribute to my dad almost, because...
Well, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, I mean, I've heard of drum major before, but I don't exactly know what a drum major really does. So could you maybe explain that in more detail to me about what exactly you do as the drum major?
Basically, a drum major is the leader of the band almost. You have the band director, but then you have the drum major. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of weird because they're kind of a staff, but also a student at the same time. I like to think of a drum major as the one who you can come to if you ever need support, but also the loudest person in the stands. You cannot match the energy of a drum major if you tried.
That's so funny. I bet your dad is really proud of you, though. I mean, especially because he shared his love of music with you, and now he gets to see you yelling at everybody in the stands.
Of course.
Out in the stadium.
It was such an honor.
So yeah, I bet all those people who become drum major after you, they're gonna look back on all those clips of you, and they're gonna be like, wow, she was a really good drum major. And yeah, I bet you're going to be a big inspiration to everybody. So what does it feel like to direct the Saline Marching Band?
It feels weird almost because everyone is my friend and I love them all beyond words. But then I also have to be a little stern a little bit sometimes. I have to be no, you have to do this, not that. Yeah. So to be friends and directing, it's a balance that I have to try to find. I am so happy to be to welcome every challenge that comes with directing the band. And once we get the show down and it's just all fine details. I love seeing it all come together so much because I'm like, oh my gosh, I helped make this.
And the journey along the way may be like a little bit stressful, but once you get everything in place, then it all works out great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I understand that the Saline Marching Band just recently went to Disney World. Very exciting opportunity. What was that like? I mean, obviously that's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to do it with the marching band as the drum major. What was the difference between doing it there or here? Just what your thoughts on it?
It was honestly a dream come true to be able to march and see the castle and everything. It was just like, I felt like a little kid again, and I want to go back so bad. I mean, it's like the marching aspect, it wasn't that much different than like if we do a holiday parade or the memorial parade or for even like marching on the field.
Yeah.
It was just, but like, yeah, like you said, it was just like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Looking ahead into the future, like, are you thinking about like doing music in your future, like at college?
I think that if I don't have music in my life, then life is not worth living for me. I definitely want to take my music career further, yeah. I really see myself like on a stage. Like if there is not a stage, then I can't really be myself. It's gotten to the point where office jobs, they kind of scare me.
Oh, me too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on stage too, and it's a stressful but it's a wonderful feeling. So,
exactly, yeah. Like I love feeling the rush of like thousands of people just they come to see you and they come to see like what you created. Oh. And I just want to do that for as long as I'm able to, basically. But I also kind of want to be like Taylor Swift, where I like perform my own songs on a stage.
For sure, in front of 70,000 of people.
Exactly.
I definitely understand that. I mean, I want to be on the stage in the future. Like, I want to do a career in theater or maybe acting, so I definitely understand that feeling and thinking what life would be like without it. I mean, that I can't even imagine that.
Exactly.
To not have, like, performing in your life, that just leaves a big empty space.
Exactly.
What is your past experience like with specifically like music production? How'd you get into that specifically?
Once I discovered my passion for music and it continued for like a few months, I welcomed the challenge. And it was something that actually kind of scared me. But my dad, being the inspiration that he is, like he, his quotes always live in my mind. And one thing that he always says that it like I take it to heart, is that if I have a dream that is so big that it scares me, then that's the right dream that I should aspire to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be stressful for sure, but you want to go for the big stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you like write some of your own songs now? Like, is that something you're going to start in the future, or have you kind of been experimenting with that a little bit now?
Really, what I want to do whenever I like try and create lyrics is I want to be like Taylor Swift, like how she creates her songs based on her life. Except I want to put my own little twist on it. I want to share my experience with the world, but like I have all these thoughts that are in my head about like really deep stuff. Like I want to be 7 again. What if I write a letter to my little 7-year-old self saying, "Hey, you've always imagined what future you would be like. This is what I am." And then it would go into like a little letter to my future self saying, "Hey, this is who I am now. What's the future like?"
Yeah.
Or other songs about how like the lessons that my dad taught me about how I should like stand out in the crowd. You should be the best Julianna Combs that you should be because there's no other Julianna Combs in the universe.
And he is absolutely right.
Or like more lighthearted stuff too because I don't know. Sometimes, like, if I write lyrics, I cry, and that's how I know that those are, like, the right lyrics for me, because I'm actually speaking from my heart.
Now actually thinking about doing music in your career, what's next? Like, what college are you planning to go to?
I just want to get to, like, a college that has good connections to the music production or, like, music industry, because everyone knows that it's not what you know, it's who you know in that industry. And
100%. It's all about the networking. Yep.
Exactly. But I've been trying for so long to get in touch with my uncle because little secret for you guys, he's friends with like the drummer who plays for Mary J. Blige. So I'm like, I'm trying to find out how I can get in touch with this guy. And I'm like, come on, please, point me in the right direction.
That's really cool. That's actually really cool. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
So kind of to wrap up here, just thinking about, if you think about everything, like wanting to do it after school, wanting to do music after school, how your past experiences, just when you really put it all together, what does music mean to you really in one sentence?
There are so many other artists that put their trauma into their songs, and they don't get enough recognition for it, honestly.
Oh.
So that is really what music means to me. It's like a retelling of someone's story, and I just really want to be a part of it so bad.
Yeah, no, you nailed that. You nailed that. Well, that's all about the time we have today. It was really great to hear about your experience and like where you started and where you're going. Like I love hearing about stuff like that. So thank you so much for coming in today to talk about that. It meant a lot.
Of course, yeah.
Well, Saline, if you liked this edition of Talk of the Town, make sure to keep an eye out for future episodes coming out on Saline Video's YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sara Gava.
And I'm Julianna Combs.
We'll talk to you soon. This episode of Talk of the Town was brought to you by Saline Video, with special thanks to our guest, Julianna Combs. If you would like to produce an episode of Talk of the Town, you can talk to Mr. Bush in room C244 or send him an email. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you soon.